Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to your November reading, Scorpio. It's good to see you guys again. Welcome back, welcome in. How have you guys been? So, as you guys know, we are going to be taking a look at the general energy that you can expect for your birthday season. And then we're going to go through and talk about the cards in terms of love. And then we'll talk about them in terms of the career and manifestation as well. In the days, the weeks leading up to doing your reading, Scorpio. Any songs that came through when I was thinking about your energy, you'll find those songs in the description box below. Guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as hit that notification bell so that you know when my videos are being posted. All right, so these are your cards for Scorpio season. Let's go ahead and talk about these. Now, off rip, Scorpio, the energy that's coming through is that I feel like things are breaking down and you guys are having breakthroughs. I don't want the thought of things breaking down or things not working out or expectations not being met scare you guys into thinking that your birthday season is going to be an unenjoyable one, because I feel like the gift that you guys are getting at this time is going to be one that will continue to keep giving. Now, overall energy here, we have the World card, so I do feel like you guys are standing on the threshold of a new life. There are so many things that are now possible because of the cycle that you guys are coming to face with, oh my gosh, face to faith, slip of the tongue. But I do feel like, yes, it's important that you guys are having faith in this process, but I do feel that there is a cycle that is closing that you guys are having to come face to face with, third time's a charm. This very much could have been something cyclical, something that the universe has wanted you to leave behind for a very long time, a lesson that the universe has wanted you to learn for a very long time, but it has proved to be hard for you. Now, what that lesson is going to hit differently for each and every one of you out there. But the main takeaway here is that, yes, I do feel like after we get through your season here and we go into Sag, there is this kind of cleansing that you guys are going to be going through, where you're no longer at the mercy of your feelings. You're no longer at the mercy of your expectations. You're no longer at the mercy of your dreams and your desires. Now, what does that all mean? You guys could have found yourself in dynamics and situations where the whole process of giving and receiving, there's a lot that was to be desired there. Some of you out there could have been giving a lot in situations and not necessarily receiving. Some of you could have been receiving a lot unjustifiably, or at least you felt that way, and you didn't really feel good about it or at ease because you felt as though you weren't giving as much as you could. Now, there's a sense here of you really needing to overcome the question of whether or not you guys are ready to close this door, whether or not this new chapter is something that is real, if it's time. Because I feel like what you guys have been juggling here is not only what your day-to-day life has been asking of you, is not only the obligations that you have to meet, the deadlines, but it's also You've been trying to do justice to your feelings. You've been trying to do justice to your heart at the same time. You know, I feel I feel very connected to your reading here for November, and I feel very connected to you guys. The reason being, so my North Node is in Scorpio. And if you don't know what the North Node is, or if you don't know what your North Node is, I encourage you guys to look into that. The sooner the better. The North Node is your life's mission. It's who you, it's the challenge that you guys have to overcome. It's the task that you guys have when it comes to the person that you will develop into in the present. And conversely, if you want to know the life that you lived in a past life, that's going to be your South Node. And the North and the South, they are direct opposites of each other. So it's like we're all faced with this challenge of becoming our higher selves, of stepping into our life's mission. And in order to reach your full potential, in order to become self-actualized and be living your life's purpose, the key to that is figuring out what your North Node is and understanding what traits that are in that particular sign that you guys need to embody, that you guys need to work on in order to overcome the after effects of the comfortable life that you guys were used to living in the past, your South Node. So my North Node is in Scorpio. And as someone who firmly believes that we never stop growing, that we should never stop bettering ourselves, we should never stop developing, there's always been something elusive or unknown about your reading, because yes, I do feel like when it comes to my life's mission and growing as a person and developing, I'm the kind of person who constantly wants to get better, you know? So your energy is sometimes hard for me to pin down because I feel like I'm always trying to crack that puzzle, or I'm always trying to understand it, or figure out the best way to convey the information, figure out the best way to explain, figure out the best way to put into words what I feel when it comes to the Scorpio energy and what it means to be a Scorpio in 2020. Now, I say all that to say, I do feel very connected with you guys and the cycle that you guys are closing at this time when it comes to the concept of giving and receiving. When it comes to being able to not only feel your feelings and your emotions, but understand what they're rooted in and not being at the mercy of them, not being controlled by them. And conversely, not being lost in the intentions and the feelings and the emotions of others. There's this the key, I believe, to having full control of your emotions and really acting from that space is recognizing where your needs start and where the wants of others end. What I mean by that is it's very easy for it's really recognizing when the emotions of others are being projected on you, when they then expect you to behave a certain way or vice versa. So it's that kind of not only seeing but also knowing, not only seeing but also understanding that you guys are adept at, that you guys are good at, that makes it easy for you guys to close out this cycle, because there is a kind of contentious or just something that hasn't been sitting well with you. And I feel like it's rooted in something that you guys feel you deserve, something that you guys feel should be coming your way, but it is not. So there is something that is being moved past here, and I think it has everything to do with you guys realizing that what is for you, what is actually for you and good for you and right for you and healthy for you, is not something that you're going to have to beg for, is not something that is not something that's going to make you feel at war with yourself, and is not something that's going to make you feel like you don't know yourself or like you have to is not something that's going to require you to take blows to your confidence and to your self-esteem, and also to your value, to your worth. So you're at a point right now in Scorpio season where you are stepping into this whole new cycle of your life. One where there is reciprocity, and one where there is self-respect. Because you can no longer mourn the losses, you can no longer live in the past. And you can no longer live in the past, no matter how appealing it was. Or the longer that your attention is shifted towards the things that you can have or could have, and the longer that your attention is shifted towards those things, it distracts you from what you have already accomplished, what is possible for you in this one life. The thing that's very the lesson of the North and South Node is that it's going to be tempting to identify with your South Node, because these are the character traits that you come into this life with. You've already lived that life. It's your past life. It could have been something that was very comfortable for you. It's what you're used to, what you guys know. But what's more challenging is really adopting those North Node characteristics, because they're what's going to develop you as a person. They're what's going to grow you. And I feel like some of you out there have been identifying with your South Node quite a bit. So I encourage you to look into what your North Node is in an effort to understand how you can live a more balanced life, in an effort to find a way to lighten the load. You guys have been through a lot. And I feel like when it comes to your heart has been through a lot as well. Some of you may want a second chance at something, but I feel like you don't know if it's possible. You don't know if it's worth it. Whatever this is, it's a source of sadness for you. It's a source of contention, and you just may not even really know where to start. But ask yourself, is it really worth resurrecting? Ask yourself if giving into your desire, if giving into your obsessions, giving into those things that are familiar, albeit painful, is something that you want to keep doing. That can be conquest, it can be thought processes, it can be relationships, it can be connections, it can be habits, it can be ways of viewing the world, it can be ways of viewing your blessings. And we got challenge coming out here, so I mean, there it is, Scorpio, plain as day. So this season is going to prove to be a challenge for you, but the thing about the trickster card is that nothing is as difficult as it seems. Think of this as a game that you guys know the rules to, because anyone because the world card is here as the overall energy, I feel like you have a wealth of experience to pull from. You have a wealth of knowledge that you guys can draw on when it comes to plotting the course forward, when it comes to seeing through the games, and when it comes to really understanding what changes need to be made in order to gain peace of mind. Let's talk about the cards in terms of love. So you guys could be dealing with a Taurus, or it could be a Taurus, a Libra, a Leo, an Aquarius. Could also be another Scorpio. Yeah. And the thing about this here is I feel like when it comes to love, it is about the give and take, right? I feel like there's your expectations. I feel like you guys deserve the best, and I feel like you feel the same way as well. Anyone who has gone through as much as you have gone through, it's perfectly understandable that there would be hesitation in your energy, and that when it comes to speaking about what your expectations are and what you will no longer tolerate or what you feel like is a waste of time, your aggression or your dissatisfaction is understandable, because there has been pain, there has been sadness. You guys have been taken advantage of in the past, and you guys have been misunderstood. And the lesson here is that the right person, Scorpio, is going to, you're not going to need to repeat yourself. You're not going to need to ignore certain feelings, ignore certain instincts, ignore certain truths for the sake of being accepted by them. I feel like a lot of you may be wondering whether or not you have the time to have something in love right now. You might feel like your plate is already full. You might feel like there's just some healing that needs to be done, and you might want to go back to the drawing board in terms of what you once thought would fulfill you. Go back to the drawing board in terms of whether or not you really have time for this, whether or not you really have room for this right now. If you are in a relationship, if you are in a connection right now with someone, I feel like you are feeling kind of strapped for time, or you're feeling like you don't want your heart to be misunderstood. You don't want to be questioned about whether or not you do care. And if you're a single Scorpio out there, I feel like there are things that you guys are trying to figure out in order to make room for love. Like, you're trying to get your mind right, you're trying to get your affairs in order, because you don't want, when you step into something, for it to be built on shaky ground, for the foundations to not be stable. If you don't have a good handle on your emotions, if you don't fully understand the patterns, I feel like there's some hesitation here in building something, because you don't want it to just turn to shit and not work out, because you don't want to go into something with baggage, is what I'm saying here. And that road cuts both ways, you know? You don't necessarily want to have someone else be projecting their baggage onto you. There's an understanding here that anything like that will create chaos. So I feel like you do want to close a door before opening another one. Now, when it comes to the way forward, I do think that there is a connection that you guys do value greatly. And I think it's one where you guys are valued very greatly in as well. But I think it may look a bit different than your expectations. Feel like it's going to be coming in a form that you guys are not used to. It might catch you by surprise. It might catch you off guard. Who it is that has been there all along. Or your feelings might catch you off guard in terms of they might surprise you. You guys might feel like you fully understand something, like your mind is made up, and it's like in Scorpio season, you do a complete 180, and something that you once thought you understood like the back of your hand, you're now caught off guard with the concept of a new way of loving, a new kind of relationship, a new person that you never considered before. This, I feel like, is something that you are maybe a bit worried about, because you are trying to understand if it's you don't want there to be any conflict. You don't want to ruffle any feathers, because I do get the sense that something is catching you guys off guard, is catching you by surprise. It's like you see, like your back is turned to it. It's like you guys don't see it coming. But I don't feel like this is something that is bad. I just think it's like one of those be careful what you wish for kind of moments, where what you guys are getting is not what you were expecting or what you even really wanted, but it's what you needed. The packaging is different. Now let's talk about the cards in terms of your career and in terms of manifestation. So Scorpio, I do feel like you feel like there is something that you guys deserve. Whether that's praise, whether that's recognition, whether that is a role of some kind. And I feel like there's a lot that there's a lot of work that you guys have been doing, and there's no question that you guys are valued by the people around you. But I feel like there's, in some particular area, you do feel like there's a certain milestone, some kind of recognition that hasn't come your way, even though you guys have been putting in the work. And to that, I would say is, to the people that matter, Scorpio, you guys are recognized. And I know, that may not count for a lot to a lot of you out there, because you may feel like, to hell with that, I want to be paid my due. I want to be paid for the work that I'm doing. You've done enough. You have invested enough. And what I don't want you guys to do is to get stuck. Okay, so yes, you should certainly take all the steps to make sure that you guys are being treated fairly. But I don't want you to pout, and I don't want you to complain about the pace or complain about the workload. Because, as I was saying, to those who really matter, your work is not going unnoticed, because I do feel like there are new partnerships that are developing here. But I feel like you guys need to let go of the past. Like there's something that you're holding on to. Like don't sweat the old shit. Focus on the things that you guys can control. If your needs are not being met in one particular area, then focus on the things that you guys can change, the things that you guys can actually impact, the things that you guys can influence, in order to get out of this space of internal conflict, because things are changing for you guys. There are new opportunities here, there are new blessings. But if you're caught up in dwelling in the things that were lost, or dwelling in the past opportunities, it's going to prevent you from taking advantage of what you can now have. It's going to distract you from the amount of growth that you guys have gone through, and it's going to distract you from what you guys are now capable of because of the experiences that you've gone through. It's a mind thing, Scorpio. It's about not thinking about your failures as just failures. It's about failing up. It's about thinking about them as a step towards what will make you feel fulfilled, as a step towards what will make you guys feel accomplished. The thing about the Queen of Wands energy, which you guys are in, yes, and I love it that this is in the position of your energy, is that this is someone who is driven. This is someone who walks the walk. So I feel like you guys know that you are capable, but do not let your feelings get the better of you. The Queen of Wands is confident because she knows her place. She knows that she will be victorious. But the difference between the the characteristics that you need to embody in the Queen of Wands as well is that she doesn't get discouraged. There is no doubt in her mind. The Queen of Wands is an optimist. The Queen of Wands is an optimist, and I feel that that is what you guys are needing to focus on here in your season. So this one says, I can focus specifically upon what I want. Love that kind of royal energy coming through. This one says, you are bombarded by thought stimulation. And so, unless you give your attention to what you specifically want, you can be influenced by that which surrounds you. Unless you are focusing on what is important to you, you can be stimulated by others' thoughts, which may or may not be important to you. We were talking earlier about projection and how you can very easily be impacted by the feelings and the emotions of others. So this card here is suggesting that in your season, you guys are susceptible to what other people want for you, but this card is wanting you to focus on what you want for you. This card is wanting you to focus on what you guys can have. And the thing about it here is that focus is something that is required. You really do have to walk the walk and really sit in this Queen of Wands energy and become the master of your mind. Don't fall prey to pessimism and don't fall prey to the worst case scenarios or the things that could go wrong. Focus on the things that you guys want, the things that you guys know intuitively is going to be best for you. And prioritize that. Don't allow yourself to be stimulated by the thoughts and the feelings of other people. Don't allow yourself to be influenced by what's going on around you. Focus on what you have right in front of you and focus on the things that you guys can control. That's how you're going to be able to close out this cycle once and for all. That's how you're going to be able to move forward in confidence, move forward boldly. That's how you're going to be able to go the distance and not become overwhelmed. Not become overwhelmed by the things that you can't change, by the things that have already occurred, by the things that are already no longer a part of the picture. All right, that was your reading for Scorpio season. Thanks for joining me again here, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you for your mid-month reading. Bye.